Hello everyone and welcome to the special edition of In the Newsroom. The year 2013 is just around the corner. We'd like to take this opportunity to look back on year 2012 by spending the next half an hour or so hearing from our reporters on which story they think was most memorable and which reporter they think shined the most or made the most blunders. So let's go and meet them. In the Newsroom begins now.
나도 5번 모르는데 항상 난 지명기름
Okay, well, it's like the first white Christmas.
Town, hello.
Hello, Jay.
It's been ages. How have you been?
I know, exactly.
Just want to start by giving you a little gift.
Oh,
Show
Santa
of-
Jihei.
Yes, it
Thank
is.
you so much.
It's
This is really
appreciation
sweet.
for your hard work every morning with warm smile, opening people's day with your warm smile.
Thank you
It's
so much. But really, this reward, I should not be the one receiving this.
What are you
It should be
talking
the afternoon people. Really, it's been hectic.
Yeah, it's been very hectic. I mean, year 2012, looking back, I think it's hard to let go, isn't it? It's so eventful, so much to learn from. How's it been for you?
I just can't believe time flies by so quickly. I can't believe it's already been like 10 months almost since I started my own show.
Right.
I mean, there have been just too many events to keep track of even.
Exactly.
You know how it's been.
Definitely. I think speaking of 10 months back, I remember you and I and Kanyong and of course Hyungkyung having our anchor segment here, right? The
Right.
studio. We talked about a lot of stuff, like controversial issues here and abroad.
I actually missed it.
Yeah.
It's already been 10 months since we did our little show together. Yeah, I actually really missed it, although I couldn't join you
Sadly,
guys for the
of course.
past few months because of my personal reasons.
But it's good to see you again. One of the memorable moments, I must say, was Nuclear Security Summit, wasn't it?
Oh, how can we forget?
Yeah, it was back in March. Can you believe it? Months back.
It's been hectic, but rewarding, I would say. I think I was proud to present our reporters' news to the world about the
We
Nuclear
had
Security
our
Summit.
newly built set there, and we also had our chit-chat session there with a foreign, one of the reporters
Right,
from
exactly.
the scene.
I remember-
Do you remember that?
One of the experts that we talked to, or journalists, was from the Netherlands,
Yes,
the country that
exactly.
will host the
Remember.
next Nuclear Security Summit. So yeah, I
And you
remember
flaunted
him.
your little Chinese there. Do you remember that? It's caught all on TV, but yeah, it's so interesting. And remembering and memorizing all the faces and names of the leaders were there too. So
That was hard. That was hard, and especially the names that weren't in English, like the long, very foreign, exotic names, like Indonesian president.
Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. There we
You
go.
memorize it there. We've been working very hard.
It's 11 p.m. in New York, 3 a.m. in London, and midday here in Korea. Hello and welcome. I'm Handaun in Seoul. You're watching Newsline at noon on Monday, March 26th. We're coming to you live from the COEX Convention Center, the venue for this whole Nuclear Security Summit, which will begin this afternoon. Personnel making their way into the media center one after another. Participants and staff members of the summit are also standing in a row.
Well, Dan, it is still very early in the morning, but here at the Media Center, there were quite a few journalists and reporters still working away.
Award itself is a major event, and we're trying to stay on top of how countries are presenting their positions and the progress they're making.
Finally, it's been a long wait for the VIPs to really get in and shake hands and find their places. And, it was tiring for me, but I guess...
All eyes were fixed on Korea this week as leaders of the world debated serious business at the second Nuclear Security Summit here in Seoul. I think it was the very first time that most of our reporters and correspondents got to cover it in a teamwork.
Right. And I think it worked out pretty well.
Very, very well. It was a hectic moment, but went by without any major hiccups, so,
Thank
hooray
God.
to that. I really hope you enjoy that gift there.
Oh, it's really sweet. Thank you so
And
much.
hopefully you can have more of our, we can have more of our chit-chat session next year.
Sure, look
Time
forward to
allows.
it.
All right, I'll let you get back to work then.
Personally, the biggest hot news was definitely covering the presidential elections.
Definitely the presidential election.
Of course, I think it's the presidential election which took place earlier this month. It was a memorable experience for me because it was my first time covering a presidential election as a reporter here at Arirang TV.
Personally, I think it was presidential elections.
The presidential elections was pretty big this year, so.
And let's see. And the presidential elections.
Presidential election, and Gunhae of the Senate Party became the first female president of Korea, so I think that was the most exciting news for me this year.
Yeon-ji, hello.
Hi, Jie. What brings you here?
Well, what brings me here is to congratulate you on something, is that our producers have done a tally on how many times our reporters appeared on the show, and guess who the winner is?
Oh, it must be me.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. What an honor.
Yeon-ji, thank you very much for your generous contribution. I mean, it's bi-weekly that you actually appeared on our show, to do the tally. So how did you find this year, 2012? What does it mean to you?
Oh, definitely 2012 was a busy year, As a political correspondent, I had a chance to cover the April parliamentary election and the biggest, presidential election of the year. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Daybreak on Wednesday, December 19th, Presidential Election Day here in Korea.
Good afternoon, Ganyang. Well, here at the Senate Party's headquarters, the buzz is all about the source of the mass text messages.
Can you tell us what it's like there right now?
Well, like you guys just saw, they erupted in joy when the first set of the exit poll results were announced, done by the three major broadcasting stations.
Our independent candidate An Chol-soo, is it there to show support for Moon?
No, former independent candidate An Chol-soo is not here. An cast his vote early Wednesday morning with his wife.
Yes, that's right. But voter turnout today was high compared to presidential elections in recent years.
To our viewers. Welcome to our viewers in Korea and around the world. I'm Yoo Li-an in Seoul.
At the 1:30 a.m. Korean time, also with 47% of the vote.
The capital, Seoul, which has the second largest electorate of over 8 million votes. This region has many younger voters as well as swing voters.
Yeah, it was a huge election year. You've done a great job with your political, teammates. And what did you learn from all these experience that you had this year?
Those experiences definitely helped me grow. And now I know like what I should be doing, and
What you're capable of.
yeah, and it's been fun. Yeah, I find myself more relaxed and at ease. Whenever I talk about my own stories and assignments as well. And I think just being on this show as well in the newsroom also helped me, feel more
natural and relaxed whenever talking about my own stories. So yeah, it's an improvement, and what an honor. Like, we don't get to really talk about behind-scenes stories, to anyone, but being on this show, this program, really gave me an outlet to do that. So it's been great.
Yeah, it's been
I had
great
fun.
too. Yeah, lots to look forward to. Yeon-ji, again, thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing more from you and continue seeing you in the newsroom.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you, Chihe.
Thank you. Other than the nuclear security summit here in Korea and the presidential election here in the nation, other stories that actually topped the list includes the London Olympics, in which Korea ranked 5th in general standings with 13 gold medals. Also, North Korea's rocket launch as well. Well, let's talk to our newbie, our Li-an, of course, who joined us this year. Li-an, how was 2012 for you?
When I joined Arirang, so everything was really new, and time just flew by for me because I kept on learning new things.
You know what? I need to give you this a small gift. We want to convey our congratulations because you've been chosen as a reporter with one of the fresh new ideas.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
I guess many of our junior reporters did a lot of interesting topics.
Probably the ones that are junior reporters.
I think it's one of my co-workers, Yoo Li-an, because I remember seeing her doing a story on Anypang, the smartphone game. Everyone was playing it, but nobody came up with the idea of covering it into a news package.
I think for me, I really like my screen golf package because it required action for me to do my stand-up. So I did a swing and then I did my stand-up, which was interesting for me personally.
Quite a number of stories. I'm sure there must be a memorable moment for you. Can you share with us?
I think it was probably Anypang. It's always exciting to cover a story that's never been done, and it's a first phenomenon that was seen in Korea. This mobile phone game taking on this craze, even creating the word Anypang craze. So it was really exciting for me to cover that story.
I see. How about the golf thing? Screen golf. I can still remember you playing and making all the cuts.
Yeah, the most exciting part of that was, of course, I liked it because it was very unique to Korea, and of course, where our viewers are all abroad, and I felt like I was showing them something very particular about Korea. And then there was a stand-up that was really exciting for me to do. It was the first stand-up that required emotion, which was swinging my golf club, and that was really fun too.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. So, being a newbie, there must be so much to learn and so much to take in. But I'm sure there must be a senior reporter who's been, giving you advice and guiding you through the way. Who would that be?
It's Hannah right here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Hannah, good to see you. Right.
Hi there.
And of course, we need to give you this gift
Yay,
for
thank
being a
you.
best mentor. A lot of the newbies actually chose you as a person with, sharing your experience and your know-hows.
For me, it was really unexpected because I've never done anything special out of the ordinary. But I really wanted to make sure, the junior reporters who come in to have as much support as they can. So although
How do you think they did overall this year?
I think they did really well. They were really open to learn, which is a great asset to have, I think, starting up, because not everybody comes in with the same attitude. So I think, I really applaud all the new reporters this year for doing such a great job.
Exactly. And being in a defense ministry correspondent you are, there must be some of the top moments that really hit you this year.
This year was the most exciting year at the Defense Ministry because number one, in April, North Korea first attempted their rocket launch and they failed in 3 seconds. And then again in December, they launched the second time and they succeeded. Both times were really dynamic at the Defense Ministry.
South Korean government has confirmed that the rocket left the launch pad but broke up in the air after just a few minutes and fell into the West Sea.
Defense Ministry has released more details on the rocket launch.
Hanul, can you fill us in with the latest, please?
Sure, Mark. South Korea's Defense Ministry, as you mentioned, did confirm that North Korea fired this long-range rocket, the In-3. As the clock passes 10 p.m. Korea time, the media frenzy here at the Defense Ministry has died down somewhat. But earlier today, the briefing room was raucous as North Korea's rocket launch surprised everyone and caught everybody by surprise. First time in April, people were kind of, they were given this time frame that North Korea was going to launch. So the anticipation was really building up. And I remember that morning, I went to work early, around 7 a.m., just because no one knew like when exactly North Korea was going to launch. But then around, I can't remember the exact time, but someone ran in and said like, they fired, and then everybody started calling their camera people to like set up the tables, and people were just like getting into position, and the tables were already set up for live link-ups. So, but everybody just, you know, when they learned that it failed, it was like a sigh of relief and kind of a little bit disappointing. Like they were expecting something more exciting and dynamic, but you know. And then in December, that was more of an unexpected moment for me. But I was expecting a normal day, and then I suddenly get a news flash from the Defense Ministry saying North Korea has fired its rocket. And then I remember sitting here, checking my phone, and like, oh no. And I immediately packed everything together, got on the cab, like got into the ministry, and this is where I really saw the professionalism with the camera crew and people here in-house, and also my colleagues in the foreign ministry and also the presidential office. Everybody just quickly got to their feet, and we were constantly communicating over the phone to make sure who's where and who's gonna cover what. So it was a very exciting year for me, at least.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
And then soon after, we had the December 19th, the presidential election here in Korea, and you also had a live link up with at the DUP.
At the DUP camp.
Right, so you were everywhere. My goodness. Thank you very much for your solid performance, Hanul, and for, Yoo-li-an with your, great ideas. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing more from you next year. All right, well, let's you guys get back to work. All right, thank you so much. Good job. Another one of our reporters that I believe deserves recognition is our economics correspondent, Hwang Sung-hee. Sung-hee, hello.
Hi, Ji-hye.
Right. Sung-hee, I think you're one of the reporters that dealt with a wide range of stories this year, from the Yeosu Expo to NATO launch, and then what else? Of course, the Saenuri Party's headquarters. You were at there during the December election. So if you have to choose one story that really struck you the most, what would it be?
I'd have to say the Yeosu Expo, mainly because I was there from the city preparing for the event, and it was such a large event. I saw the city open the event, greet the visitors, and I saw a lot of people enjoying the expo up until a successful close of the event. So just covering all those moments was, I think, very meaningful.
Arirang's Hwang Sung-hee has our top story.
Visitors excitedly made their way into the expo at 9 a.m. when the doors officially opened. Long waits were inevitable at some of the more popular attractions, like the aquarium. Around 200,000 visitors are expected to pass through the expo during opening weekend alone, and the expo is expected to get even busier throughout the next 3 months.
Foreign journalists are being invited.
These journalists will get a good idea of.
This is actually...
I see the shape coming out very nicely there.
해양 보전이나 해양과 관련된 주제가
Full tour of the expo before the event officially begins. Expo to familiarize themselves with the event.
And we now connect to Arirang's Hwang Sung-hee.
We now go live to Arirang's Hwang Sung-hee at the expo venue.
Yes, hi guys. The opening ceremony ended just about an hour ago, and I must say it was full of spectacular performances.
Hwang Sung-hee has the story.
The organizing committee recommends making a trip within the first few weeks of the expo to avoid the crowd. Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News, Yeosu. Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News, Yeosu.
I need to applaud you for all the traveling that you did back and forth.
Yes, I think I went there 7 or 8 times.
Because Seoul and Yeosu, it's quite a distance, isn't it?
Yes, about 5-6 hours drive.
Yeah, I think we even talked about like setting up an office there for you
I
so
know,
they
I
can report
remember.
from the scene. But wow, Yeosu. And how about Naro?
Naro was also, I think it was the city where the Naro launch was taking place, was supposed to take place, was even farther than Yeosu. It was like a 7-hour drive. And I was there for the latest attempt, but sadly they didn't launch it yet. Let's I would like to go back if they announce a date.
Probably next year or so?
Yes, I heard maybe late January.
Let's see. You know, another thing, of course, we need to mention is that earlier in our show, you did a wrap-up of some of the top stories and made headlines through that week. And of course, your adorable blooper and outtakes. Do you have anything to say to that? How was your experience?
I think the reason for all those bloopers was because I was so comfortable with the staff that I was working with, the producers, the writer, and the assistant director. They were there and they were watching me, but I'm very friendly with them. So it was just very funny to be in front of the camera while they were watching me. Not very professional, but yeah, I think just the atmosphere, the friendly atmosphere made me more jolly, hence the bloopers.
You did give us a joy, and yeah, here is show appreciation.
Oh,
a little
thank you.
panda there for you. You know, in fact, our producers conducted a survey, not only with our reporters, but also for camera crew as well.
Oh,
They're all
I know
watching.
that.
And in fact, you were chosen as one of the reporters who rarely make mistakes. Is that true?
That's true. I'm very different when I shoot in the newsroom and when I'm really out on the field, because when we're out on the field, it's not very professional to, I don't know, make bloopers when I'm doing my stand-up. We have to be on the go. Exactly. So I think I'm more tense when I'm out there. And when I'm here, I'm, like I said, comfortable with the staff. So yeah.
So Sung-hee, thank you very much for another great year. We certainly looking forward to hearing more from you next year.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.